So in this session, there'll be some information on how to log your hours on GradIntel, what you can log hours for on GradIntel, and something a little bit about the January virtual Freshers Fair. I meant to take it out to say fair, and then how to create an event on ESSEXStudent.com. Some of you, I think, will know how to do that already, but it's just a little recap for anyone who hasn't been in other training sessions where we've showed that. A bit about the SU video project and just some other quick updates as we're getting close to the end of the term. If you have any questions, you can just put them either in the chat and hopefully one of the other team members will answer the question for you, or you can wait at the end and then come onto the camera or just use your mic and ask the question and we'll answer them. Cool, so how to log your hours on GradIntel. So it's a really quick video, so I'll have to stop that share and then go over to here. I think I've got to share the audio as well. So Thomas, I believe, has just got a quick update on something that's slightly changed when you do that now. So I'll pass you over to Thomas.
Lovely. Thank you very much, my dear colleague. Hello, everyone. As Jack nicely introduced me, my name is Thomas and I'm volunteering manager. So I'm the person who always bothers all people, log your hours, log your hours. It's really, really important, guys, for quite a few reasons. And I think we'll cover that a bit later, or if not, I'm here, so I will cover that part as well. Well, I'm going to quickly share. And sorry, I probably will stop sharing your screen, Jack. So sorry about that.
Yep.
Is everyone able to see my screen now?
Yep.
Yep, lovely. So once you go to the Essex Union main webpage, when we recreated the videos, basically what happened, the GradIntel changed the interface back in September. So we recreated the videos and then Students Union changed their webpage. So we are going to recreate the videos again, but now there's a slightly different navigations to access the main volunteering logging page. So here you will be able to see a slightly different tabs. So under activities, you'll be able to find volunteering, and that's how you're accessing basically the main BT part. And then from here, the information exactly the same as you just saw in the video. You click on log your hours, you'll be redirected to the GradIntelligence webpage, and GradIntelligence in the software that manages your higher education achievement records is basically the whole, it's like online academic transcript nowadays, and you enter your details and you'll be able to log the hours. If you cannot find opportunities, you'll just need to click on log hours, find more opportunities, enter either SU Society or SU Club, and once you will be able to find that specific activity tile, then you will select your society or your club you're presenting for, and then they're all in there. Any questions, guys?
No, cool. Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you. Right.
I have one.
Oh, go for it.
So when I was logging my hours for Rebel in the GradIntel thing, there were 3 options that showed up. It was like bronze, silver, and gold, I think. So which one do I log my hours into?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Chanita. That's slightly different activities you actually were looking for. So GradIntelligence is becoming like a central database for everything that university does offer for you guys, which leads to some confusions time to time. The thing that you're referring for is the Big Essex Award unit. So it's slightly different from volunteering. They are quite interrelated together. So what happens, in order to achieve Big Essex Award units, you need to complete some activities that will include volunteering, and the only system at the university that tracks volunteering hours is like the system we just demonstrated, and that's the same system that is tracking the Essex Award. So in terms of the those 4 different stages, you need to see the criteria, what activities are eligible for that. And I know that under Big Essex Award, there is a Rebel criteria, and Ray can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in order to be eligible for, let's say, 25 Rebel units on Big Essex Award, you need to complete X amount of volunteering hours that needs to be logged on the volunteering. I know that it's slightly annoying that you need to log your hours and then you basically need to tell that you've done that. We are hoping that the systems will be able to talk to each other next year. That's the next year's project, but unfortunately it was paused as everything with COVID. But in general now you need to log your hours and then you might be eligible to have that record on the Big Essex Award. And I just saw some questions. So will this go towards Society Awards? The answer is yes. And again, guys can correct me if I'm wrong. In order to achieve some of the society units, I think it is a compulsory to log at least 10 hours as a committee member for your society in order to be eligible to apply for the award. So the answer is yes. It goes towards your awards. Oh yeah, my grand doesn't. Yeah, so Carolina, I think I answered that question. So Big Essex Award and volunteering are 2 different systems. So you just need to find the activity tile that actually represents your volunteering logging hours for that specific Europe from Sports Club, I believe. So that represents SU Club for logging hours purpose. Does that make sense? Yeah, lovely. What are society awards? I think that's the question for Jack. So once I've done with my answers, I will pass back that to Jack. But yeah, thank you. Okay, if there's no more questions, thank you very much, guys, for having. Thank you, Jack, for inviting, and the mic is yours.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, Society Awards, they're something that happen every year, and there is standards that you can apply for, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well. And there's also like prestigious awards, so most improved society or society of the year or most community focused society, etc. But more details will come out about the awards next term, most likely anyway. And like I said, there'll be a little bit of information about standards and badges that you can apply for coming up a little bit later. Can I just check that the presentation is back on the screen share? Can someone put a thumbs up? Yep, cool. So yeah, this presentation will be available to download as well at another point, probably tomorrow or the early stages of next week. So you can click on those links again to rewatch the video, or you can click on the GradIntel one there to get an easy link to the GradIntel website. But as Thomas said, it is on the VTeam page. So what can you log your hours for on GradIntel? So you can do it for pretty much all society and club related activity, including this meeting. You can log hours for being here in this meeting. Exec committee meetings that you hold, workshop session planning, training planning if you're a club, and then the delivery of those trainings, the workshops, the sessions that you do. If you travelled to London to represent your society for an event, obviously it's not going to be happening at the moment, but if you did that, then that could count because you're volunteering your time. Travelling to campus for a committee meeting. So little things like that. If you're walking from your house to campus, you might say that it takes you a quarter of an hour. and 4 meetings you could log in an hour, because you can't log in like 15 minutes, for example. So you can add up those times and then you can log them. Setting up an event. So if it takes you an hour to set up an event before your members get to your event, then you can log that hour. Packing away after an event is finished. So again, you might accumulate 2 hours of volunteering for setting up and packing down. So you can submit all of those things. Even admin, so just sending emails out to your members. Again, you might sort of say, oh, it took me 10 minutes this time. So then after 6 times of doing it, you can log an hour. Social media, things like that, they all count towards volunteering. So you can log all those things. As I said, attending any training sessions, this is a training session, it's more sort of an info session, but you're still volunteering your time to get information that can benefit your society. All of your member meetings, so anything that they come to, any events that they attend, but also one-on-one meetings. So for example, if you're a welfare officer and a student asks to meet you face-to-face to just sort of have a bit of a chat, you're volunteering your time, so you can log that. The next two, obviously, they're quite relevant for at the moment with all the quizzes that people are doing. So all the time that you spent creating the quiz and then delivering the quiz, they can all go towards volunteering hours. Hosting Zoom drop-in sessions for your members, which will be a little bit related to what we talk about with the January fair in a little while. And then creating events that go on to the ESSEXSTUDENT.com website. Those sorts of things can all be logged as hours. So, but if you're ever unsure of something that you're submitting, you can either email VTeam or you can email us at SUSOCS or at Blades at Essex, and we'll let you know if your event or your activity can be submitted. So as it says, participating in VTeam-led activities is also something that you can log your hours for. Obviously, that's kind of a pretty standard one there. VTeam will run one-off volunteering projects which take place once and tend to be over the weekend. That can change though. And they also run regular projects which provide weekly volunteering opportunities, which you can attend as and when you want. So there's no commitment to be there every single week. You can sort of drop in and out when it suits you and when you're available to help with a certain project. Yeah, so the main purpose of VTeam is obviously to do good, to help parts of the community that might need it the most, or that you've got a specific interest in helping. What, Thomas? I could see you trying to say something.
No, I'm so sorry. I would just like, because I'm covering reception, I had just some people coming in and trying to, because we locked the doors as reception is closed now, but they saw me and they're like trying to open the doors. So like, no, we closed. Sorry.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say I was saying something wrong. But yeah, as Thomas said as well, logging your hours can count towards your Big Essex Award. As I say, hopefully Thomas explained it clearly enough about the differences between Big Essex and volunteering. But again, if you ever need a bit of clarification, again, just pop us an email and we'll go over that again. But yeah, these things, like I said, as well as being the main purpose to help people out, it can also help for your CV, for your future employers, to show everything that you've done. Thomas, yes.
Yeah, sorry, Jack. Just echo what you said about Big Essex Award. Important part, guys, is because some people at the university are responsible for authorizing or verifying, I should say, verifying your Big Essex Award submissions, and that's where logging the hours. Yeah, Jack is, for example, verifying your submissions for society. I guess Dom is verifying for sports. I'm verifying for any engagement in volunteering sector. So if you haven't logged volunteering hours once you submit your Big Essex Awards, the problem then happens that we cannot verify it because we can't see your logged hours. So that's why it's really important that if you want to complete the Big Essex Award and it requires you for that specific unit to have volunteering, then it needs to be reflected on the system, as otherwise you might run out in the problem that we can't verify that, and then obviously if the deadline passes you might miss out the award. So please make sure that like you do that and not losing up on the activity. You need to unmute, Jack.
Oh, Zoom, it's always good fun, isn't it? Yeah, so January fair, it's going to be a virtual fair. So we had one of these that ran alongside the physical fair that was earlier on in this term, but this one's going to look a little bit different. So this will be from the 18th to the 24th of January, and it will basically just be another chance for you to showcase your society or your club. And again, you know, for like VTeam, they'll have things on there as well. And it's basically for anyone who's looking for something new to do, for something, you know, I know from experience, I didn't get involved in societies really until the new year of my first year in the second term. So there's a lot of people out there that have just been using this first term to find their feet, and they'll now be looking for these opportunities to do things and get involved with what you're doing. Basically, what we're asking you to do is use the winter break to use the admin privileges that you get as an exec member on the Essex Student website to update all of your society pages. Make sure that the correct social media pages that you have are all linked, and that there's no old or out of date information kind of lying around on your pages. It's really simple to edit your page. There's the communication, social media and website training that is on the exec member resources page, and you can use them to sort of see how you can edit your pages and do certain things on there. Rachel, if you haven't got admin privileges, it might be because when we went to, because we have to do them manually basically, so when we got round to you, it might have been that you didn't have your society membership at that point. The system won't allow us to apply admin rights to you if you haven't got your society membership. If you have bought that membership now, though, just send us an email and just remind us what position you have within your society, and we can go on and apply the admin rights. And that's, you know, that's the same for everyone. Just make sure you do that. Before the end of this term, we will be doing another check through all the list of people that haven't got admin rights yet. But just send us an email if you're sort of wanting them now, or if you want them, you know, really quickly, and we can get that sorted for you. Yeah, so as I was saying, students, they get directed. I'll come back to that question in a second. The students will be directed a lot to your pages through the virtual fair. So as I said, it's really important to make sure that your pages are up to date and the information is all correct. The Life Science Society, it has been verified. I was speaking to, I sent emails to Mohammed about this because I know that you and them are working together, I believe, on this. So I'm guessing maybe that information hasn't been relayed back to you. I would just ask them about that, and then if you don't get any reply, then pop me an email and I can send you some info about that again. But yeah. Cool, so the virtual fair, I've got an example on here. It's an Actors page, which is really, it's, you know, sort of spread out really well at the moment. They have, as I said, the contacts on there, they get listed when admin rights are applied. So like I said, make sure you've got your society membership so we can apply the admin rights so that you are listed on there, so that if anyone views your page, you're there as an easy contact for them to get in touch with. The information on there, on an Actors page as well, it's really good. Obviously an Actors has got a meaning behind different sort of letters in the name, and they've got that clearly laid out there. And then it's got about what an Actors does, who they work with, sort of information about them and other universities and how they kind of work together. So just sort of, yeah, it's just an example of something we're kind of looking for to make your pages look good. Yeah, so one thing that is a little bit different to what we did with the virtual fair last time is we're asking you to set up basically your own stalls, which will be in the form of Zoom rooms. Basically, we were looking for these to be at times where through the week where at least one exec member will be available to attend. So it would just be a case of you setting up these meetings and having at least one person on their laptop or on their phone in a Zoom room, so that if anyone wants to pop in, if any sort of prospective member wants to pop into your meeting, they can do, and they can have a chat with this person about what your society is about, what you have coming up, what your plans are. Yeah, so yeah, the rooms will be listed in descriptions of events that you create for these stalls. We'll go through the create an event thing again in a minute. Yeah, and they'll be listed on their own page. So just like there is a what's on page at the moment, there's going to be a separate page for these stalls, as they were. And then people can sort of have a look through all of these. And if they click on one, it'll have the Zoom code. The time and the date will be listed, just as in any other standard event. And then the Zoom code will be listed in the description so that people can easily find out how to join. People will be able to jump in and out of these Zoom rooms. Like I said, they can ask you questions. So make sure within your society exec teams or your club exec committees, just make sure that you're sort of all clued up on everything that each other does and sort of everything that you have coming up. Maybe we sort of suggest having an exec committee meeting in the first week of January if you can, to sort of go over what your plans are for the term or for the rest of the academic year, so that you can give that information to your members or the prospective members when they jump into these Zoom rooms. You can have as many of these Zoom rooms as you want across the week, and then they can be as long as you want them to be. So they can be an hour, they can be the whole day if you want, but just make sure that you try and have at least some in the morning, some in the afternoon, some around lunch, some in the evening, so that everyone who wants to attend can attend, because obviously some people might be parents, so their evenings might be a little bit harder to attend. So they might have a free hour over lunch somewhere where they can attend one of these meetings. So just try and have an event at least at some point at every kind of time frame during the week. Yeah, as I said about the events, kind of being able to let people know what you have coming up. We strongly advise you having creating at least an event or two, or at least having the plans in place to have these events, so that you can plug these to new members so they can come along and try an event out, and then get to know people within the society a bit more, and get to know a little bit more about what you do, so they can see if it's something that is going to interest them in the long run. And 18th to the 24th, as I said, this presentation will be uploaded to the website as well, so you can have a look at this at another time. So setting up a Zoom meeting, I'm sure you're all really well aware of how to do this, but if you're not, then you just need to log into your Zoom account using your Essex login details, and then you click schedule a meeting in the top corner, and then input the details of the Zoom room. And once you click save, make sure you just note down the meeting ID, so that you can then list this, as I said, in the description of the event that you create on the ESSEXStudent.com website. Yeah, so make sure that the person who will host the meeting, or the person that will be in there answering the questions, creates the Zoom room. Or if you're perhaps going to swap halfway through, then you can list alternative hosts in the little section that's there when you scroll down that section as well, just so it means that if you leave the meeting, it won't cut it off for everyone. The alternative host will be able to carry on the meeting, and everyone won't get booted out, basically. So adding an event to the ESSEXStudent.com page. So as I said, we've been through this before, but for anyone who hasn't attended one of the other training sessions, all you need to do is go to your society page and then click page admin in the top right corner, and then it will drop down with some options. So you just need to click your society name admin tools. So in this case, it would be Anime and Manga admin tools, and then click on events and then add new events. Obviously, this is the same for sport. Sometimes I just forget to write in club/society. I've done that so many times at the moment that sometimes it just slips my mind. But this is the same for club stuff as well. And then yeah, so it will take you to, once you click your society/club name admin tools, it will take you to sort of a window where there's loads of different icons that you can choose from, and you just need to click events, then add new event. Then it'll come up with this this layout, and then just sort of a little bit here. So the text that you put in that tagline short description box will appear on the what's on page, or on this Zoom page, this new Zoom page that will be created for the Zoom rooms. So just keep it punchy, just something that's going to entice people. Basically, Ray gave a good example about when she lists stuff for City 10, she'll just put starring, and then whoever the biggest actor or actress is in the film, just so that people go, oh, I know them, I'm going to go and watch that. Or, it's something that will draw people in basically to your events. Yeah, so then you can add the rest of the relevant details to your events, but then just remember to leave, so the external URL box, just leave that clear. Otherwise, when someone clicks on your event on the what's on page, it will take them directly to whatever you've put in this external URL box. So if you create something that is like a Zoom event, so if you're doing a quiz over Zoom, and you've got your passcode on the description bit, but then you link the Zoom code in there, it will just take them straight to Zoom and try and open that Zoom room, and they won't be able to actually then retrieve that password. Yeah, they won't be able to retrieve the password that they need to then enter if you set it up with a password. And obviously people are going to want to know a little bit more about the event, which will be what you write in your description, and they won't be able to see what that is because you've just linked it straight to somewhere else. And this is especially important if you've got tickets attached to your event as well. If we've put tickets on there for you, we'll probably notice this and let you know anyway, or we'll remove it ourselves. But if we're attaching tickets for you, people then won't be able to buy any tickets, because there's a link straight out. Do we have to put the link or the meeting? Yeah, so yeah, you can put the link to it in the location bit on there, as Ray said, or you can just type Zoom, and then when you get to the longer description, so on the screen at the moment you can see tagline / short description. I don't think that, oh yeah, I've got on the next bit anyway. Basically you can put the link in this full description box, and then from that they can find their way. But if you put it in that link URL bit, they'll just be diverted straight away from, they'll never see your event page. They'll just get directed straight away. Yeah, so on these event types, but you don't really have to worry about these too much. At the moment, if you create an event and leave everything unticked, your event will go straight to the what's on page, and it's really simple like that. But we are setting up a virtual fair stall box for the extra Zoom page where your stalls, your virtual stalls will be. So if it is if the event that you're creating is one of these stalls, then you just have to click that box when it appears. It's not there yet, but it's being made, and then your virtual stall will be added straight over to there. And if as it says in number 1 at the bottom of that as well, if your event is for all students and not just for members of your society or members of the Colchester campus, then make sure you click the boxes as well that say Southend and Loughton. Otherwise, because a lot of students over there, they will just go to their what's on page because that's what they're familiar with, and they'll miss out on everything that's happening over on our campus as well. So just make sure if your event is open to all, then you're clicking the boxes for Southend and Loughton as well. And as I was saying a little bit about a minute ago, if you where it says number 2 in that box, that's your main description. So in there you can include more details about what your event is, as well as a Zoom link or a Zoom passcode or a meeting ID that you have. So make sure to use that. Yeah, the meeting will be uploaded later on. It'll be on the website, and also we'll upload the video to the YouTube channel that we've created for all training sessions, and we'll send an email out to all society execs and club execs with the link on there as well. So yeah, the next bit is the video project. So we're asking clubs and societies to create a 15 to 30 second video that we can all use, so that's you and us, during January to showcase everything that you guys do throughout the year. So it can include what you do in a normal year. Like I said, these can be used next year as well, when hopefully things are back to normal. So it's always good to create kind of a portfolio of social media content that you can use whenever. So yeah, you can include what you do in a normal year as well as what you're doing for your members throughout the pandemic, where you can't currently have in-person activity. So it can be anything you want it to be. A few examples are like a why join us kind of style video. You can do a TikTok. It can be a picture or a video montage with a voiceover. It can be a professional style interview. Basically, it can be whatever you want. Just something that is a little bit more enticing to someone to watch. It can create a little bit more of a friendly atmosphere. It can be a familiar face. You know, if you're the president and you create this video, then when someone comes to a meeting, they're already going to know who you are. It's already going to be a little less daunting, because they already they know who at least one person in the room is. Yeah, if you're interested in doing a short interview, then there's a quick video. I think it should be
affecting the shot.
1 second.
The camera. Framing videos for interviews. Here we have a frame with a ratio
Just to check, you're all seeing this, aren't you? Yep.
of 16 by 9. And here is our grid separating them into thirds. We'll start with a simple interview shot, wherein it's ideal to frame the head of your subject in either of the two cross sections in the top third. As you can see, there's not too much negative space surrounding the subject. He's lined up to the right hand third and has space to our left, wherein you can include props relating to the topic or leave it empty as you see fit. The way to ideally frame the subject is include their head, shoulders and upper torso and have the camera level with their eye. This offers a neutral dynamic wherein it feels like a conversation with the subject for the viewer. If possible, try to use directional lighting. This can be using light panels or a window. Ambient light works too, but in some instances can be overwhelming or cast downward shadows on your subject. Using directional lighting and positioning your subject well gives you more control to create a more pleasing shadow and light combination. In this instance, the subject is positioned with a window to the left of the frame, which evenly lights their face and gives a subtle shadow that frames their features. If you have an extra light source to hand, you can use it to diffuse these shadows as you see fit. The subject is also positioned at a roughly 30-degree offset to the camera when talking to the interviewer. This gives the viewer the impression they're sitting in on the conversation as opposed to having the subject stare into the camera, which can come across as confrontational. In this shot, the window is behind the subject and is negatively affecting the shot. The camera will struggle to expose properly because it must either be exposed to the indoor lighting or the outdoor. The outdoor lighting is much harsher and overpowering and is very difficult to tone down. It is advisable to avoid putting your subject directly in front of a window for this reason. In this shot, our subject is outdoors whilst being interviewed. The sunlight is the key light in this scenario and is coming from the right of the frame. It is not too harsh and the subject is well lit. The sky is a bit overexposed, but unlike the window before, can be handled either on the shoot by changing the aperture or the ISO, or in post-production. In this next shot, the sun is directly behind our subject. This should be avoided, as like before with the window being behind the subject, it overpowers the subject and will turn them into a silhouette or a blur. Similarly, try to avoid having your subject facing the sun, as they may struggle to see and interact with the interviewer. It also creates a harsh and bland light over the subject, which makes for an unhappy subject and a poor shot. Finally, we have an introduction shot.
Hi, I'm Fergal, and welcome to the Rebel video.
Unlike our interview shots, the subject should face the camera directly, as though addressing the audience. These shots work best with presenters introducing a video, or if they're reporting on a topic. Use the light to your advantage again by positioning them with the key light, in this case the sun, to one side of them.
Cool. Let me just get that off. So yeah, that was just a handy couple of tips for if you're creating that kind of interview style video for this the video project. Yeah. So can I just check again that the presentation is back on the screen share? Thomas, can you give me a thumbs up? You're the only one on my screen right now. Is the presentation there?
Sorry, I was helping Dom with the Zoom number. Can you repeat it?
Is the presentation on the screen share again?
Yes,
Cool.
It is, yeah.
Right. Yes, so you can go back and watch that video again. As I said, the presentation will be online, so you can go back and see that, or you can just head straight to the Rebel YouTube channel to get some, to watch that video again, or to get some other handy tips, or just to see what they're up to. So yeah, if you can send WeTransfer to send the videos to us, that'd be great. And if you can get them in to us by the 11th of January. The marketing team are going to try and line up the posting of your videos alongside any events that you have coming up in January. So try and make sure you have your events all set up on the ESSEXSTUDENT.com website so that they can do this. It would just look really, really good to have an introduction so they can get to know you a little bit, and then followed up by your event details as well, because it might just sort of entice people a bit more to come and try and see what your society or your club is all about. So I think, yep, other updates. So expense forms. So if you've got any outstanding, then make sure you get them in by 12 o'clock lunchtime on Wednesday, the 16th of December. The cut-off point for finance, I think the last payment is on the 18th. So we need the time for us to process them. and then for finance to process them, and the payments should be hopefully completed on the 18th. And then you should receive your money, I think, the next week after that. Any submitted after this point, they'll be then reimbursed in the new year. So if you're looking to get some money back, then please get them in as soon as you can. We have the SU Christmas Staff Day on the 17th of December. So all staff will be away from work. So don't expect basically any replies on that day. Obviously, furlough times change with staff members at the moment as well. So if you send an email kind of late into the afternoon on the 16th, sorry, then there's a chance that that might not be replied to as well. We'll do what we can, but if we can't work, we have to be really strict with the hours. Otherwise, we don't. The company, the SU, doesn't get the benefits of the furlough scheme. So we've got to be really strict in keeping to that. Information about standards and badges will be released on the last day of term. We know this is really late this year. It's been a bit of a hectic term, as I'm sure it has been for you as students as well. But we are just tweaking the last few bits about standards and badges. For anyone who doesn't know what they are, it gives your society or your club the opportunity to earn bronze, silver or gold standard, which is a really good thing to go on sort of your CV, and also just for your club or society records. A lot of people get really invested in it. So the information about how you can achieve them will be released on the 18th. As I say, thank you for your patience on this. We know that people have been wanting the information for a long time, but we've just been trying to make the last few tweaks for them. So thank you. If you're having any events over the Christmas break or the winter break, then please get any ticket requests. If you want to sell tickets for them, please get those requests to us by 5 p.m. Next Thursday. So not tomorrow, but the 17th. Make sure you've created your event on the Essex Student website before you send us a ticket request. We can only add tickets to an event once it's on there. We can't do it sort of and then link it afterwards. We have to have something to link it to. So make sure that's all done. And anything that you want us to post on social media over the winter break, get that across to us again through the emails or through Instagram or through Facebook by 5 p.m. next Wednesday as well. We'll only be scheduling content to go out. So no staff members are going to be actually on any of the socials over the Christmas break. So just make sure that anything you want posted out about your events or information in general, just make sure that's all sent to us so we can schedule that. And the last bit on there, so due to the winter closure and extra, like staff taking any extra annual leave, all of the staff in the student activities team will be stopping responding to emails as of around about, it's not a definite time, but around about 3 p.m. on Friday the 18th, and we'll start responding again as of Monday the 11th. I can appreciate that is a long break, so we're sorry for that, but also it's been a tough year, and a lot of staff members have decided they want to take extra holiday over this time. So yeah, we won't be responding to anything over that time. If you need anything urgently, then I think SU advice, if I'm right, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think SU advice, there should be someone there back as of the 4th of January. So yeah, but apologies if I'm wrong on that, but hopefully someone should be. That's everything we have. So if you have nothing to ask or nothing to say, then you can go.
I've
Thomas?
got a couple extra comments quick.
Yeah, sure. Who's going first, Thomas or Ray?
Okay. Do you want to go, Thomas?
No, you go, Ray.
Oh God, you go. The dog's just started barking.
Okay, guys, just to echo what Jack said about having your standards and other elements on the CV is really great, but also it's being officially approved, and I think, and Jack or Ray can sort of confirm that, but we also, especially with the award winners, we need to send the list of winners, all the people or societies and sports and other people that receive standards or badges or anything else. We need to email that to graduation office, and then it goes on your official transcripts. Not every single bit goes, but I know that the biggest awards definitely are going on your official transcript as well. So it's not only you know putting that thing on the CV, it's actually going on the official academic records too as well. So it's really important thing to have on your CV, and believe us, as if we had been in that job market, and every single tiny bit really counts. So please guys, make sure that you submit applications to the teams.
And they've stopped barking, so I can do this now. This happens every day around this time. I feel like there must be an alarm that goes off somewhere that they can hear, but I can't, but they start barking. But anyway, I just had a couple of quick things to add. If you are staying over the winter break, or know of any of your members that are staying over the winter break, there is a Facebook group that's been set up for people to go into, and we would really highly recommend that people join that, just because it's an opportunity for us to kind of let you know about the different activities that are happening and things that you can get involved in. I am aware as well that an all student email went out that has details about some of the stuff that's happening, but also about some exciting free stuff that will be happening as well. So if you love a freebie and you are on campus over winter break, then make sure you have checked your emails if you haven't to see that. It's just a couple of other super quick ones. In terms of putting your events up on the website, I know that some societies, possibly clubs as well, and different groups put some of their events up only a week in advance. By all means, you can do that, but it can help a lot of people plan ahead if they can actually see what things are coming up. So it might be worthwhile, if you've got an idea that you're going to have a meeting, even if you don't know the full extent of the content of it yet, to set those things up in advance to go up on there. In terms of videos for the project, these 15 to 30-second videos essentially are like elevator pitches for your club or your society or Rebel or V-Team project. And so think about the things that drew you to it first, and that's the things that it would be really good to see you kind of showcase. It doesn't have to be really professional, as Jack said. It can be a TikTok video, it can be a video montage of pictures, all kinds of things. So whatever kind of works for you guys. So please don't feel intimidated by it, but there are some resources over on the Rebel resources page which can help support you to create videos and stuff if you're not sure how to, including some free software to do that as well. So it's just kind of giving you a heads up and a clarification on some of that stuff as well. That's it.
Cool, thank you. How next term will look in terms of training? We're going, I guess you mean sort of sports training sessions in general. At the moment, Dom would be the best person to answer that, but his computer crashed.
Dom is coming. Dom is coming.
Dom is coming. Okay.
Speaker, isn't it?
So Dom, the question is. Dom, the question is there any indication at all on how training will look next term for clubs? And I guess the same kind of goes with society activities as well, but obviously training is a little bit different.
Yeah, so basically, as things stand, we're having to go by what county tier restrictions we're in. So we're in tier 2 at the moment. That's due to be reviewed around the 16th of December. If Essex stays in tier 2, the current guidance is that indoor training obviously is only permitted for same households and bubbles. And so we will have to obviously plan for what we do around the indoor sports and whether or not there's outdoor options or alternative provision. We're hopeful that things will be relaxed, but because of this national relaxation around Christmas, there's also many that believe that restrictions will be toughened, particularly in January, and probably relax more towards February, March. It's just too early to really say, which is not really an answer that people want to hear, but we are restricted. But fitness classes in gyms are allowed. Yeah, I know there's a lot of things within the guidance and the rules which don't really make much sense. There is a campaign going on behind the scenes at a national level with universities trying to get an exemption for sports clubs. And back in September, there was an exemption before the national lockdown. There was an exemption September, October time, I think, for higher education sport to happen, but that exemption has not been confirmed. So hopefully we will get a confirmation of an exemption, and then we will be able to go some way towards having some indoor sport and some more relaxations around bubbles and training. But as soon as we hear anything, we will get that confirmed. Outdoor sport is permitted at the moment, but again, there are restrictions around how many people, bubbles, and following the code of conduct and risk assessment. As soon as I hear any more, I will get an email sent out, and the same goes with things around bucks and the buck season. So I don't think we might have one bucks club on this call, but the buck season has been delayed as well, mainly because of the tier structure. And yeah, hopefully that sort of answers the question.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, and just in terms of society activity as well, at the moment, obviously, there's the if you're in tier 2 or across tier 3, there is the no mixing indoors rule. So as far as I'm aware, Ray, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but because Essex are in tier 2, I believe that applies in terms of society and person activity.
It does. There's been a lot of work that had to happen behind the scenes to try and decipher government guidance in a way that would allow for societies to meet up inside. But it's not kind of been accepted at this point for that to go ahead. So I guess I just want to get across the point that it's not us that are creating these barriers to you being able to do your sport and your societies and different activities. We're with people going through the same stuff as everybody else, and we are trying to interpret and navigate the stuff to the best of our ability and seeking guidance on the different government guidance that is out there to help support interpretation so that we can allow you to do the full extent of what you're able to, if that's your choice to. And so yeah, just we are working really hard. I know it doesn't seem that way sometimes when the results are, you're not being able to meet in person, but we are trying to interpret this stuff and get support to kind of get you guys up and running. So as soon as we do know stuff, we will let you know, because we're keen to be as transparent as with you guys as we possibly can be.
Cool, thank you. If there's any more questions or anyone wants to hang around for
I just want to say, because I received some personal, sorry Jack, I received some personal messages. So guys, this word bullshit, it's not for insult, is actually one of our tattoos, says no bullshit. That's us being transparent. I honestly got some messages. So no, yes, it says bullshit, but it's actually one of our tattoos. So guys, please do not take that as insult or anything. Okay, I'm in the reception, like front face. Yeah, I just that's our tattoo. So yeah, thank you for spotting that out, guys. That actually made me laugh. But yeah, I'm not saying that it is a bullshit situation, but I'm not saying that what we do is bullshit. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. Yeah, as I was saying, we'll stick around here for 5-10 minutes. So if you've got any more questions, just let us know. But apart from that, this is likely to be the last sort of in-person meeting that we have with you. So just a big thank you for everything you guys have done for your members this term already. I don't scour the web for a lot of other universities and other students' unions, but I don't see a lot doing as much as you guys all are doing, and I'm sure your members really, really appreciate it. So massive well done. I have
scoured the web because I've been stalking other institutions as to see how they've been interpreting guidance, and I can say that you guys are really doing an incredible job, and it really has been recognised. And I've heard lots of different comments that are coming across and saying how much of a wonderful job that you are doing and creating communities during this really difficult time. So a huge well done. I know that we've created different resources to try and help support with some of that stuff. So if there are any other things that we can do to kind of be helping with that, let us know, and we'll continue to do what we can.
Apart from that, if you have nothing else to say, then you're free to go. Have a lovely, lovely winter break. Hope the rest of the term goes well for you. And we will see you again soon.